Good evening, my lovely warriors. Hi, Madhumita, Pikachu, Madhusudan, Slayer, Khushi. Nice to see you all. Hi, Sinchan, Kirtana. Hello, Slayer, Vidya, Kativaran, Venkata, Powerstar. I hope you guys can see me as well as hear me. Welcome to We Enlight. And this is Shreyas here, your physics master teacher. And I hope I'm loud and clear. Welcome aboard, all the warriors, all the aspirants of NEET 2022. Well, if you're a J aspirant, you can also watch this. Definitely you will benefit from the session because physics is same almost for NEET as well as J. So welcome aboard to the iDog series, and today you're going to watch the first session of physics, and we have divided the most important units into blocks, and I'm going to follow the block strategy to conquer and ace in the numericals of physics. So this block strategy is you divide the main portion into parts and you only pick out those parts which have very high weightage, which will fetch you at least 130, 140 marks at least. The remaining blocks can fetch you the other marks that you can expect in your NEET examination. Yes, I do remember you, Khushi. Hi, Shweta. Thank you for all the love from Tamil Nadu. Hello, Keshav. Hi. Jai Prepanand, hi Kirtana, I'm very good. Okay, Jitendran is also very excited. Even I'm very excited because this is going to be the final lap just before your examination. And in today's block 1, we are going to revise through Kinematics NLM, work energy, center of mass collisions in rotation as well as circular motion. All of this with me, Shreyas, your physics master teacher at Vedantu. And before we begin the class, do not forget to smash the like button, and if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. This is the only way we keep ourselves motivated, and that way we can motivate you and help you out with more sessions. You want more sessions? Go ahead and smash the like button. Now before we begin the class, let me tell you how we are exactly going to proceed, and I feel this is the best strategy that is going to work in the last few days. A lot of students feel that, especially in NEET, that we should just go through NCERT and read the NCERT again and again. That will help us in the final days. Not so much, unless and until you have practiced at least 400-500 problems from each and every unit. If you have not practiced so much, then it's going to be difficult. What you should do is, in the last few days, practice lot of numericals in the physics part especially. And even in physical chemistry and other subjects also, you need to practice problems, because you might know the theory, but how to apply that theory is the main part. Knowing the definition is one thing, applying it is one thing. So that is what I'm going to teach you today via problem solving. We will do chapter by chapter. We'll start with the first, then go to the second and third and all that. Slowly we'll complete the entire block. This is a marathon session. That means it's going to be at least 2 hours you can expect. Yep, Foodex, you can watch this for JE as well. Namaskar, Ishan. Expected duration bunny, like I said, around 2 hours, plus minus half an hour, might go up and down, who knows. Yes, for BitSat also you can watch it, no problems. Hi Srimati, nice to see you all. Yep, so let's begin with the class. Are you guys excited? And before every unit, I'm going to ask you questions. You're going to reply to the answers in the chat box. Ready for the first set of questions? Put up a yo or a fire emoji so that I know you guys are ready. Put up a yo or put up a fire emoji so that I know you guys are ready. Hi Shrikant, hello everyone. Wow, today I did 60 Tattva questions with theory. That's good amount of practice, Ishan. I'm very good, Power Star Ram. Yep, let's begin the class. Ready for it? Hi Monica. Yes, yeah, hello, hey, you can watch it definitely. Let's begin then. Okay, I'm going to start asking you questions. Starting with kinematics, tell me quickly, the rate of change of velocity is called? The rate of change of velocity is called, come on, quickly put it up in the chat box. The rate of change of velocity is called, come on, put it up in the chat box. Let's see how many of you quickly are active. I just want to activate all your nerves now. Awesome Blossom says freezer. Rate of change of velocity is called? Exactly, acceleration. Very good, guys. Very good. Come on. Now tell me this question. What is the area under acceleration time going to give you? Area under acceleration versus time going to give you. Let's see how many of you know this. area under acceleration time graph going to give you exactly what? Come on, put it up in the chat box. Think about it. Area under velocity time gives you change in position, which is displacement. Area under acceleration time gives you what? It gives you change in velocity. Exactly, not velocity. A lot of you are writing velocity. Nope. It always gives you the change in the velocity. Correcto. Let's see how many of you know this. If I throw a ball at 20 degrees, it lands somewhere. If I throw a ball at 20 degrees, it lands somewhere. Which other angle can I throw the ball so that it lands at the exact same place if I throw it with the same speed? I throw a ball at an angle of 20 degrees. With the horizontal, it lands somewhere. I want the ball to land at the same place when I throw it with the same speed. Which other angle can I throw it? Think about it. Is it possible to throw the ball at some other angle? Come on, think about it and put it up in the chat box. Come on, my warriors. 20 degrees. Aha, remember, the range of a projectile is same for complementary angles. Complementary. So 20 is complementary is 70. So yes, if you throw the ball at 70 degrees, it will land exactly at the same place. Excelente. Excelente. Come on, tell me this. At what angle should I throw a ball so that the time of flight is going to be maximum? At what angle should I throw a ball with the horizontal so that the time of flight is maximum? What angle is it? Is it 0? Is it 45? Is it 60? Is it 90? Is it something else? Come on, put it up in the chat box. Excellent, my warriors. You guys are slowly brushing up and just energizing. It's just like a warm-up. Just before you do exercises, you do a warm-up, right? So I'm warming you up before the actual questions come. Come on. What angle should I throw a ball so that it lands after a long time? Time of flight is maximum. Guys, the answer to this question is 90 degrees. A lot of you are wrong about this. It's not 45, it is 90. Because if you throw it at 45, it will land fast. I did not ask you when is the range maximum. Range is maximum for 45 degrees. So listen to the question carefully. The time will be maximum when you throw it up. It goes up like this and comes down. So when you throw it up, it lands after a very, very long time. Correcto. Excelente. Excelente. Keep this in mind. Very good, guys. Keep this up. Now, guys, tell me one thing. Okay, I'm going to ask you a few more questions before we start the actual questions. Right. Tell me when you throw a ball up and it comes down, you throw a ball up and it comes down, does the acceleration due to gravity change the sign? Yes or no? Does the acceleration due to gravity change the sign? Yes or no? Come on, think and tell me. You throw a ball, it goes up and it comes down. Will it change its sign? Yes or no? Come on, put it up in the chat box. Come on, put it up in the chat box. When you throw a ball up and it comes down, will the acceleration due to gravity change the sign? Yes or no? Think about it. Yes, Abhishek, I do remember you. 100 plus in physics, future doctor? Maybe, yes. So you should start trying. Don't think whether you can or whether you can't. Start trying. All right, some of you are confused. Yes, somebody is saying yes, somebody is saying no. The correct answer is yes. Yes. Oh, no. Sorry, I was just fooling around with you. A lot of you are saying yes. No, guys, the answer is not yes. The answer is no. Okay. So why is the answer no? When it goes up, acceleration is down. When it comes down, acceleration is still down. Acceleration due to gravity is always downwards. Why will it change the sign? It does not change the sign. The sign depends on you. It's your convention. It's your choice. So remember, when a ball goes up and down, the velocity changes the sign. Acceleration does not change the sign. Acceleration is always downwards. It's always pointing down. So guys, do not get confused. Velocity changes the direction. Acceleration doesn't. Acceleration doesn't. Is that clear? So let's start with some questions coming up on your screen. And here it is, the first one. And it's a numerical question. Okay, let's see how many of you can do this. There is a graph given for acceleration time. Question is, what is the average acceleration for the body from 1 second to 7 seconds? That's point A to point D. Chalo, calculate this. So think, which formula will you use? Well, I have a feeling to calculate average acceleration, because average acceleration is asked, I need to think about the basic definition. See, this is how you apply the concept or the formulas. You know what is average acceleration? Average acceleration is nothing but the change in velocity by the time interval. Oh, but how do I know change in velocity? I do not know the change in velocity, so I can find it out. Oh, this is an acceleration time graph. Remember, the area under such a graph, the area under such a graph gives me, what does this area give me? This area gives me change in velocity. So what is this? This is a trapezium, and the area of a trapezium is half into the sum of the parallel sides multiplied by the height of the trapezium. That's it. So you need to find out the change in velocity using this formula. So the numerator will be nothing but the area of the trapezium, which is half into the sum of the parallel sides. This side is 2. You can see that this side is 2, and this base is 6. You can check this out. This side is nothing but 6. 7 minus 1 is 6. So it will be nothing but 2 plus 6 into the height, which is nothing but 8, divided by the time. Time is again 6. So what is this going to be? 2 plus 6 is 8. 8 by 2 is nothing but 4. 4 into 8 divided by 6. This is going to go 2 times. This is going to become 3. Okay, so this is just going to be 16 by 3 meters per second square. That's it. That's the correct answer. And how many of you have got it? A lot of you made a mistake maybe. A lot of you took the time as 7 seconds. That's why you got option A. Nope. You have to think only that time interval from A to D will be only 6 seconds. Do not count from 0 to 7. That's a common mistake. And many students fail to realize that change in velocity actually can be found using acceleration time graph. Is that clear? Can we move ahead to the next question? JEE 2024 will start after 2022 exams are over, okay, in 1 or 2 weeks. Okay, so let's begin with the next question coming up on your screen. A particle starting with certain velocity, uniform acceleration covers 12 meters in 3 seconds, 30 meters in more 3 seconds. Initial velocity is how much? Beautiful question. Yes, Jitendra, you should not take time as 7 seconds. That's why option A was also there. So you are traveling how many meters? You are traveling 12 meters in the first 3 seconds. So this is 12 meters. This is t is equal to 0 and this is t is equal to 3. Here the initial velocity is nothing but u. Now in more 3 seconds you are traveling 30 meters. That means when you reach here, that time the time is 6 seconds and this distance happens to be 30 meters. So this is nothing but 30 meters. So question is to find u. Acceleration is constant, it's clearly mentioned. So I think I should use kinematic equations, right? So the acceleration throughout the motion is constant. How much it is? Not given. Let's use kinematic equations one by one. So for this part, I can say using S is ut plus half at square. Why did I use this equation? Because displacement is there, initial speed is there, time is also there. Acceleration, I don't know, maybe I'll find it out using something else. So that's why I'm using this. So displacement is 12, initial velocity not known, time is nothing but 3 plus half into acceleration into time is again 3, so 3 square. Divide by 3 on all both the sides. So I will get 4 is equal to u plus 3a by 2, multiply by 2 on both sides, so it will become 8 is equal to 2u plus 3 times of a. So this is my first equation. Now let's think for the second part, but starting from here to here for the entire journey. For the entire journey, initial velocity is u. Again using the same second kinematic equation, I will write total displacement will be 12 plus 30 is equal to u. U is nothing but not known. Time will be total time, which is 6 seconds plus half into acceleration into 6 square. Correct? So this is 12 plus 30, that is going to be 42. Divide both sides by 6. Correct? I will get 7 is equal to nothing but u plus over here. Just check this out. One of the 6 has gone. So 6 by 2 is nothing but 3 into a. So this is my second kinematic equation. Now from these two equations, obviously you can solve them. From these two equations, what are you going to do? Look at this. Two unknowns, two equations. That's why I have to solve it 2 times. You will not get it in one go. So subtract these two. Subtract these two equations. What will you get? 8 minus 7 is equal to 2u minus u. 3 and 3 will cancel. So I'll get 1 is equal to u, which is exactly the answer. Initial velocity will be 1 meters per second. There you go. Understood? Clear? So this was a beautiful question where you have to use kinematic equations 2 times. And also keep in mind, many students make a mistake thinking the 30 meters is the total displacement till the 6 seconds. Sometimes people forget this should be 6. Sometimes people take it as 3 seconds. And they also forget that 30 meters is for this part. Here I cannot write the equation because I do not know what is this velocity. I have to find it out again using some more equations. So that's the reason why I used the entire duration without bothering the intermediate velocity. Moving on to the next question coming up on your screen. Come on. A particle is moving. Hi Surya Nagraj, nice to see you all. Oh, very good Kalyani. I can see all the 11 to 12 moving students also joining out here. Yep, even you guys can solve this because mechanics, right? A particle moving eastwards with some velocity. In 10 seconds, the velocity changes to this much. Average acceleration in this time is how much? Average acceleration in this time. This is a 2D motion question. Let's try to solve it. So initially the velocity was 5 meters per second in this direction. This was the initial velocity. Finally, it turns here and it goes in the north direction with the same speed of 5 meters per second. This is final velocity. Question is average acceleration. Average acceleration is change in velocity, that means final minus initial by the time interval. Final minus initial, do not say 5 minus 5 is 0. You cannot do that. That will be wrong. Actually speaking, final velocity is nothing but 5 j cap and initial velocity is nothing but 5 I cap. This divided by the time, which is nothing but 10 seconds. So this is actually half into minus I cap plus j cap, because 5 by 10 is nothing but half. But this is the average acceleration in vector notation. The magnitude of this average, will be nothing but, you can take half outside, it will be root of 1 square plus 1 square. 1 square plus 1 square, that's how you take magnitude, is nothing but root of 2. So this will be root of 2 divided by 2, which is 1 by root 2. Now comes the direction. Look at this, you will get to know what is the direction of this. Minus I plus j. Minus I, this is minus I, and this is plus j. So the average acceleration will be in this direction. This is obviously, you can see this is north, this is east, this is west. So it is in the northwest direction. That's all. So a lot of people write it as 0, but no, it is not 0. It is in the northwest direction. 1 by root 2 is the answer. Yep, it's not northeast. A lot of people do this mistake also. You know what many people do? Many people just write, oh, this and this, so they join this. Guys, this is nothing. So a lot of people are going to write northeast. No, that is not the answer. Final minus initial vector. So initial vector has to be flipped and then you add it. So that's why it comes as northwest, not northeast. That's a common mistake. Yep. Yes, Dessing, that's what we are going to do. Yep. These are all varieties of problems that are important for your NEET 2022 exam. All the models are very, very important. High weightage topics have been taken. Cool? Let's move on to the next one. Here it comes. A gun is aimed at a horizontal target. It takes half second for the bullet to reach the target. The bullet hits the target x meters below the aim. Then the value of x is how much? So this is your gun. The gun is aiming the target over here. This is where the target is. If there was no gravity, when there is no gravity, then this distance or this displacement from here to here, let's say I call it as S1. Okay, let's say I call it as S1. That displacement will be nothing but velocity into time. So that displacement S1 from here to here right, will be velocity into time. There is no acceleration due to gravity. But because of gravity, what will happen? When the gravity acts, the bullet will go slightly down. So you are going to see that this bullet is just probably going to hit over here, not over here, and this is basically your x. So the displacement the second time, this will be the displacement the second time, that will be given by with gravity will be given by ut plus half gt square. That means the difference in the final displacement has come only because of this term. Hence, I would associate this term as the difference. The difference in the final position has come only because of half gt square. So half gt square is x. So question is how much is x? So x will be half into acceleration due to gravity is 9.8. Time taken is nothing but half. So that's it, square. So this will be 9.8. 2 square is 4. 4 into 2 is 8. So 9.8 divided by 8 meters is the answer. That's it. That's the answer, option B. So this has a very simple solution. A lot of people try to do it in many complicated manners. So guys, this is not how it has to be done. I mean, it's not very complicated. It has a very elegant and simple solution. Without gravity, it reaches here. With gravity, it reaches here. So the difference has come because of this acceleration. So because this person has not studied physics from Shreyas sir. He thinks if the target is there, I have to aim there. No. If you shoot the bullet, it's going to fall down. In fact, if the target is there, you have to aim a little bit higher so that it lands over there. That's all. I hope this is clear. Everybody understanding? Pooja, no problem. Those of you who are joining a little bit late, it's okay. You can still continue watching. You have probably missed a small part of the class. You can replay it and watch the missed part as well. Okay? All right. So, hello, hey. We have a lot of other things as well apart from YouTube, like we have test series, we have assignments, we have personal attention, we have learning progress tests, we have artificial intelligence which tells and predicts your ranks, and based on that we take corrective actions. We have counselors, we have so many kinds of different batches which will help you develop your performance. So we have micro courses, we have modular courses, so many things are there which you will generally not get in regular coaching. Cool. Let's move on. Let's start this next one. The position of a particle with respect to time along the x-axis given by this. X is in meters, t is in seconds. What will be the position when it achieves maximum speed along the x direction? Let's do this. First of all, x is given, maximum speed is asked. So I think we should first find velocity. Velocity is the derivative of position with respect to time. So it is basically the derivative of 9t square minus t cube. So when you take the derivative, it will become 9 into 2t minus 3t square, which is just 18t minus 3t square is the velocity. But the question is, when is this velocity itself maximum? So the concept of maxima and minima comes over here. So maximum speed or maximum velocity will be when dv by dt is 0. So when you reach a maxima or a minima, remember the slope of that function, the derivative of the function becomes 0. That's all I have to use. So take the derivative of 18t minus 3t square and equate it to 0. Derivative of 18t will be 18. 3t square's derivative will be 3 into 2t is equal to 0. So basically 18 is equal to 60. Therefore t is equal to 3 seconds. So I got the time when the speed is maximum. This is a time when v is basically maximum. But the question is find the position. So how do you find the position? Look at this equation. Use this equation and find the position. X will be 9 into 3 square minus 3 cube. So that's going to be 3 square is 9, 9 nines are 81 minus 3 cube is 27. 81 minus 27 is 54 meters. That is your correct answer. And do we have it? Yep, we have it over there, option A. So it's a beautiful question on derivatives at maxima minima. So whenever something is maximum, remember the derivative of that function or the slope of that is going to be 0. Remember, at maxima the slope is 0, at minima the slope is 0. That's all. Hence the correct answer is 54 meters. Are you loving these questions? Are you loving these questions? Yep. Isn't it amazing, guys? Right? Great. Let's move on to the next one. Coming up on your screen. Okay. Wow, we have a question on 2D. We have a question on 2D. Awesome. Let's see. The class will be almost for 2 hours or plus or minus half an hour. The x and y coordinates are given. The question is, what is the acceleration at t is equal to 2 seconds? From position, you can't directly find acceleration. You have to first find the velocity and then go to acceleration. Come on, guys, try this out and then see how are you going to solve this. How are you going to solve this? Come on, think about it. So first of all, from position, how do you find velocity? And then from velocity, how do you find acceleration? Derivatives. So first find the x velocity. X velocity will be derivative of the x component. The derivative of the x component means it will be derivative of 5t minus 2t square. So when you take the derivative, it will be 5 minus 2 into 2t. So that is going to be 5 minus 4t. That is velocity in the x direction. Acceleration in the x direction will be derivative of the x velocity. So when you take the derivative, 5 is a constant, so derivative is 0, minus 4 into times derivative will be 1. So it's just going to be minus 4, which is the acceleration in the x direction. Now since it's a 2D problem, do the same process in the y-axis. So the velocity in the y direction will be dy by dt. So it is nothing but the derivative of the y coordinate, which is 10t plus 8. So 10t's derivative will be 10, 8's derivative will be 0. So vy will be just 10. Oh, velocity is nothing but constant over here. That means the acceleration in the y direction, which is the derivative of the y velocity, will be nothing but 0. That's it. You got the x component, you got the y component. So guys, think about it. What will be the net acceleration? The net acceleration will be the x component square plus the y component square. Here the x component is minus 4, the y component is 0, hence it's just coming out to be 4 meters per second square, which is option C, of course. Very good, very good, very good, very good, very good. Amazing, my warriors. Amazing, 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 amazing. Oh, the class timing with error. I'm not sure what happened, Ishan. Was it something else? I'm not sure. Hi, Sriji, nice to see you after a long time. Hamdam, yes, physics includes maths. You cannot separate it. Guys, you're just 2 weeks away. You can get rid of maths after those 2 weeks. Okay, most of it at least. Whatever maths you hate or whatever maths you don't like, especially all the students who are writing NEET exam, it's just a matter of 2 weeks. Just take it in like a pill, like how you're going to advise the patients, okay? That's all. After that, you're going to study all your favorite subjects, whatever you want to do. You want to be a neurosurgeon, you want to be a dentist, you want to be a heart surgeon, you want to be go into human psychology. God knows, whatever you want to do, you can do it. But for these 2 weeks, you have to struggle, whatever it takes, do it. But take it like a challenge and till the end, fight for it. Don't give up just because you see, oh my God, derivatives, oh my God, mathematics. Okay, let's move on to the next question coming up on your screen now. Ankita, I'm very good. Yes, Bacha, you can, Madhumita. But you have to watch the previous classes also. Just don't watch these classes. Watch the other classes and please make sure you solve all the questions in the crash course assignments and give the mock test. Just don't watch YouTube classes. Just YouTube classes won't be enough. Okay? If you are starting the preparation. Okay, moving on. Next question. 2 cars are starting. Again, mathematics based question. Position of both the particles are given as a function of time. At what time do you think they have same velocity? Relative motion question. Relative motion question. Let's see. Hi Uma, nice to see you back after a long time. So what time do they have same velocity? So I think first from position we can find velocity. By the way, it's a previous year question. These kind of questions do come. Velocity of car P will be derivative of the position of the car P So the derivative of this guy will be a into 1 plus b into 2t. Derivative of t square is 2t. So it will be a plus 2 times of bt. Similarly, the velocity of car q will be the derivative of the position of the car q, and it will be nothing but ft's derivative will be f into 1 because t's derivative is 1 minus 2 into t. So this will be nothing but f minus 2t is the velocity of car q. All you need to do now, since as per the given question, read the question, the cars have the same velocity, that means this is equal to this, that means these two will be equal. These two will be equal. So a plus 2bt will be f minus 2t. Bring the time term on one side. So 2 times of bt plus 2t is equal to f minus a. Take time common. So you will get 2b plus 2 is equal to f minus a. So time will be nothing but f minus a by 2 into b plus 1. That's the answer. That's the answer. Just check this out. That's the answer. Yes, option D it is. Option D. Can you see that? It's exactly this. It is not as complicated as it seems. Yeah. So theory questions are very little, Sriji. Very, very little. Okay, you can expect hardly 5%. And it is also again conceptual, and it can only come from some chapters like magnetic, magnetic properties, or maybe semiconductors, or solids, or fluids, something like that. But apart from that, you'll have 95% or more only problems in NEET paper. Okay, so don't expect from NCERT, okay, sir, this definition will come. No, it will not come like that. Okay, so they are also very smart, and you would have seen the previous year papers. It's all filled with numericals, not with theory question. Okay, let's move on to the next question coming up on your screen. Okay, let's try this out. Here is the question, guys. Try this out. A guy from parachute bails out after falling 50 meters. So the question is basically, when he opens the parachute, after that he decelerates with 2 meters per second square. He reaches the ground with a speed of 3 meters per second. At what height do you think did he actually bail out? That's the question. It's all about derivatives. Yes, 5 hours for physics is a very good time. You should spend, in fact, that much time, because biology will not take so much time. Even chemistry, most of it will not take so much time. 5 hours of practice at least is needed. Definitely, remaining time you can use for other things. Let's understand what is happening. This guy drops from some point. Okay, he drops from some point and he undergoes a free fall motion. There is a free fall motion. That means he accelerates with g till he reaches some height. He falls out for 50 meters. Free fall for 50 meters. So this is basically 50 meters. After reaching this point, obviously he will have some velocity. I'm just going to call it as v. Now, once he opens the parachute, he will start decelerating. He decelerates over here. He decelerates over here till he reaches the ground. And he reaches the ground itself with a speed of 3 meters per second. That's over here. And the deceleration is over here like this. And how much is the value? It is 2 meters per second square. 2 meters per second square. Thalapati, I'm very happy, bacha, for you. Very good, very good, very good, very good. Awesome, awesome. So let's move on. Now, how do we do this? First of all, understand, if I somehow find this velocity, maybe I can find this height. If I find this height, I can add this height and I can find the total height, because that is what is asked. At what height did he bail out, or what height did he drop? Bail out means what height did he basically drop from? That's the question. So this height is not known. Let's try to figure this out by finding this v. How do I find that velocity? Using kinematic equation. So for the first part, use maybe v square is u square plus 2as, because displacement is given, time is not given. So hence the third kinematic equation. V square is u square plus 2a into s. Final velocity, I don't know. Initial velocity, since it drops, is 0, plus 2 into acceleration due to gravity, let's say 10, into displacement is nothing but 50. So 10 into 50, that's 500, into 2, that's basically 1000. So velocity is 10 root 10 meters per second. That's the velocity over here. Now from here to here, initial velocity is given, final velocity is also given, h is not known, deceleration is given. So I think again I need to stick with the third kinematic equation. So let's use the same equation and see what do we get. Final speed 3. So 3 square is equal to initial speed is nothing but here. So that's 10 root of 10 whole square minus, why minus? Because he's decelerating, into 2 into acceleration is 2 into the displacement, which is nothing but h. So let's do this. 3 square is nothing but 9. This is going to be 1000 of course, and this will be nothing but 4h. So hence 4h will be nothing but 991. So h is nothing but 991 divided by 4. Well, now the total height which we want to find, the total height will be nothing but 50 meters plus 991 by 4, guys. So how much will it be? 50 plus 991 by 4. Approximately, come on guys, try this out. It will be 247 point something. 247 point something. So approximately, are you not going to get this as nothing but 297 point something? So which is roughly 298 meters. Roughly 298 meters. Awesome. There you go. 2AS formula. Radhika, it's okay. Even if you're joining in late, you can still watch the class. Okay. All these questions are very important, NEET students. Please, there will be so many people telling you just do NCERT. Guys, it will not work for NEET exam or even JEE exam or any CUET exam. If you are reading NCERT, that's it. You are just going to remember the definition. You will know, okay, maybe I have to, this is a question on this topic, or maybe this formula will be useful, but you will not know what to do. Okay, because you have not solved problems. You will know, yes, you have to use kinematic equations. Okay, displacement is there. Okay, maybe I have to use third kinematic equation, but you do not know where to start from because you have not been used to solving problems. Reading NCERT will probably just give an idea, but not help you in solving problems unless and until you actually put in an effort and also watch problem solving classes. That's the whole strategy for you guys in the last few days. Moving on to the next question. Okay. Yes, JEE students can also watch this, bacha. No problems, no issues. Okay. So let's move on, guys. The boy playing on a roof of a 10-meter high building throws a ball at a speed of 10 at an angle of 30. How far from the throwing point will the ball be at the height of 10 meters from the ground? This is not higher, this is at a height of 10 meters from the ground. Let's see how to do this. Exactly, Jitendra, that's the reason why I'm doing all these block strategies for you. Please watch all the sessions. Okay, awesome. Let's try this out. Let's draw the diagram first. The boy is playing on the roof of a 10-meter high building. So let's think about a 10-meter high building. So this is a 10-meter high building. There is a boy over here. He's playing with the ball or something. And then what he does is throws the ball at a speed of 10 meters per second. 10 meters per second from this roof at an angle of 30 degrees. So he throws the ball from here at a speed of 10 meters per second at an angle of 30 degrees. The question is, how far will the ball be when it will be at a height of 10 meters from the ground? This is the ground. From the ground, when will it again come to 10 meters? Think about it. This is a height of 10 meters from the ground, correct? This is a height of 10 meters from the ground. When will this ball again come back over here? Obviously, it will come back over here at a distance of nothing but the range. So the range is exactly what you have to find. From the initial position to this position, the distance will be nothing but the range, of course. So just find out the range. Formula for range is nothing but u square sine of 2 theta divided by your g, right? So let's substitute everything. U is nothing but 10. So 10 square sine of 2 theta twice of 30 is going to be 60 degrees. Did you understand why 60? Because it is twice of 30 sine 2 theta divided by g, which is 10. So this 0 goes, this will go. So it will be 10 and you will have sine 60, which is nothing but root 3 by 2. Okay, so root 3 by 2 into 10, you can just write this as maybe 5 into root 3. Root 3 value is nothing but 1.732 and stuff like that. So guys, come on, 1.732 into 5 roughly will come out to be 8.6, because come on guys, 17 5s are almost 85. So 1.732 into 5 will be slightly more than 85, but there is a decimal out there, so that's why 8.6. That's how you're going to get it. Okay, so you don't have to sit and calculate. You should know the tables. 1.7 into 5 will be 8.5. So 1.732, slightly more than 1.7, into 5 will be slightly more than 8.5. There is only one number like that, 8.6. Understood? Don't sit and calculate. These are the tricks you should learn. This is how you are going to save 10 to 15 seconds. When you save 10 to 15 seconds in tricks like this, then I'll give you one more trick, then I'll give you more tricks. And when you save up times like this, it will add up and you will save lots and lots of time. That is how you're going to save a lot of time while solving problems, and you can complete the paper, or else there will be so many questions you will not even see and you will run out of time. That's not how it's supposed to be done. Next question coming up on your screen. Okay, it's up to you. You can do it either way, Subbu. There are many ways of manipulating. Looks like a scary question, but it is not. You project a projectile from a surface of the earth with certain speed. Angle is also given. Another projectile on another planet with different speed but same angle, and the trajectory is same. The question is, what is the acceleration due to gravity on the other planet? What it means is that on Earth, you fire a projectile with 5 meters per second at certain angle. It follows some path, let's say like this. It follows some path like this. And on Earth, the acceleration due to gravity is g. Now you go on some other planet, you throw the same ball, but now with a different speed. Obviously, if the speed is different, like 3 meters per second, you might expect it to fall here. But the gravity is such that the ball ends up following the same path. So the trajectory is the same. In such a situation, what do you think is the acceleration due to gravity on such a planet? What do you think is the acceleration due to gravity on such a planet? Guys, think about it. What formula are you going to use? What formula are you going to use? Think about it, guys. Which formula are you going to use? Are you going to use time of flight formula? Are you going to use something else? Think carefully. Don't you see range is same? Don't you see the range is same? Come on, my warriors, think about it. Don't you see that the range of both of them is the same? So if R is same, that means u square sine 2 theta by g is same, but theta is same anyways, hence u square by g is same. Now just substitute and get the answer, because u square by g should be constant, hence you will say 5 square by g will be 3 square by the g on that planet. So from this, the g on that planet will be g into g is taken up, 3 square is as it is, okay, divided by, because 5 square is going to just come down. Now substitute the values and see which answer do you get roughly. So this will be nothing but roughly 10 into 9 by, is g given? Oh, g is given to be 9.8, my bad. G is given to be 9.8. So let me just put 9.8 into, this is nothing but 9 by 25. Well, I don't think it should be so difficult to solve this. Think about it. 9 by 25 will be nothing but, see, 9 goes with 27. 9 goes with 27 3 times. So 9 by 25, close to 1/3, very close to 1/3. So 1/3 of 9.8 will be 3 point something. So that's 3.5. No, it is not B. See how I manipulated. I didn't calculate it. 9 by 25, very similar to 9 by 27. Hardly a difference of 2 numbers. So it's very close to 1/3. 1/3 of 9.8. 1/3 of 9 is 3. So 1/3 of 9.8 will be 3 point something. That's all. So hence option A. Understood? Understood how to do these manipulations in mental? Yeah, these are called mental maths. Okay, so you don't actually sit and calculate, you just use mental math, you do some manipulation and just calculate and look at the options and do it. These are the kind of tricks you need to use in the exam. Okay, let's move on to the next one. And by the way guys, the entire PDF will be available in the Telegram channel, so make sure you join the Telegram group which is there in the description box below. Ready for Newton's laws of motion, frictions? Everybody, circular motion. Ready for it? Okay, let's see how many of you are awake. Come on guys, tell me a simple formula. Okay, what is the formula for optimum speed on a banked road? When you go on a banked road, then there is a speed at which you can move so that it is optimum. Very little wear and tear of tires. That is called as optimum speed. That is the angle at which the road is banked, so that most of the vehicles, if they travel at that speed and it is designed that way, you will see less wear and tear happens. Yes, Monica, physics theory is important when you're studying, not in the last few days. The last few days, it's just problems. Come on, think about it. Okay, root mu rg. Root mu rg is the speed when you are on a flat road. But when you are on a banked road, the formula for optimum speed is root. Very good, Santosh. Excellent. It was root rg tan theta. Very good. Okay, let's see how many of you remember this now. Okay, now guys, imagine, okay, you take a ball and you rotate it in circular motion. There is a pendulum made of thread. This thread is attached to a ball and you have to rotate it. What should be the speed at the topmost point so that the string does not become slack? What should be the speed at the topmost point so that the string does not become slack? What is that value of the speed at the topmost point so that the string does not become slack? Well, I'm pretty sure you remember it. Come on, it is in terms of the length or the radius and gravity. Yes, it is root of gr, not 5gr. Root 5gr is the speed at the bottom. Root 5gr is the speed at the bottom. So as it goes up, the speed reduces, becomes root gr on the top, and that's when it will not become slack. Anything less than that, it will become. Anything more than that, it will not become. Yes, so root 5gr is at the bottom. As it goes on the top, it becomes less because it will lose the energy in the form of potential. So that kinetic will go into potential. Is that clear? Very good, Shrimati Sivkumar. Very good. Excellente. Now, let's say guys, if I ask you, what is the meaning of contact force? What is contact force, guys? Is there a formula for that? Or is there a word for that? Or can you tell me what is the formula or the definition or the concept of contact force in the chat box right now? Come on, recollect, refresh. What is the concept of contact force? Contact means two surfaces are in touching with each other. So when they touch, what kind of forces come? Normal, friction. Both are contact forces. So the combination of normal and friction, the resultant is called as the contact force. Normal is not the contact force, friction is not the contact force. The combination normal plus friction, the vector sum, n square plus f square is the root, n bar plus f bar, which will be at an angle, that is called as the contact force. Very important. Exactly. Excellente. Okay, let's see if you can answer this. If okay, I tell you there is a non-inertial frame, what does it mean? What does it mean? Come on, put it up in the chat box. If I tell you it's a non-inertial frame, what does it mean? Does it mean something? Does it mean that velocity is doing something? Does it mean acceleration is doing something? What do you mean by a non-inertial frame? Well, non-inertial frame is that frame where Newton's laws can't be applied, and you have to use pseudo force to apply Newton's laws. And what happens? When do you call a frame as non-inertial? When it actually accelerates. Yes, when it accelerates. Correct. The frame itself accelerates. Come on, quickly tell me if there is a lift and that lift accelerates downwards. If the lift accelerates downwards, the relative acceleration or the effective perceived gravity inside the lift, will it be g plus a or g minus a, assuming acceleration is less than g? Come on guys, when the lift accelerates downwards, will the inside gravity perceived by the lift frame, will it be g plus a or g minus a? Come on my warriors, put it up in the chat box. Let me get some water and come. Meanwhile, just put up the answer quickly. Just get water and come. Very good. Many of you are writing the correct answer. Uma, no, it's not g plus a, bacha. It is g minus a. Remember, when you go down, pseudo force acts up. Weight acts down. So weight minus the pseudo force, hence g minus a. When you go up, pseudo force acts down, and weight and pseudo force acts in the same direction, hence g plus a. That's how you're going to remember it. Cool? Let's start with some questions now. Let's start. A car of mass this much moving on a circular path of radius this much with a speed of this much. The driver applies brakes, the car continues to move, and the question is, if there is deceleration happening, so the speed is changing, what is the deceleration, assuming the maximum friction is 7 kilonewton? Let's try this question out. Let's try to analyze it first. What is happening? So there is a car going in a circular track. The speed is obviously given. The speed is nothing but 8 meters per second. The radius of the track is also given, which I believe is 16 meters. Now when you decelerate, what happens is the friction will act, but there will be two kinds of forces. One will be the centripetal force. One will be the centripetal force. One will be the retarding force, that is the tangential force. That will cause your retardation, and this is exactly what is asked. What is the deceleration? That means what is that tangential wise, how much rate are you reducing your speed? Obviously there is going to be centripetal acceleration as well. So there is centripetal, there is tangential force. The resultant of that will be the friction. Friction is neither going to be this nor going to be this, because in this plane neither can mg come nor can normal come. Normal is out of the plane, mg is inside the plane. There is only one force, and that force is nothing but friction. So actually you will see frictional force will act over here. Frictional force will act over here. Is that clear? Why frictional force acts at an angle? Because friction is the only force which can act in the plane of the board. The resultant of these two forces will obviously be here. Remember, centripetal or tangential is not a new force. It's a name given to either normal, mg, friction, spring, etc. So here that name is the friction. So friction's components, the resolved components of friction are centripetal and the tangential forces. I hope this is clear. Now all you need to think is, how much is this going to be? How do you find AT? To find AT you need FT. To find FT, from F you need FC. To find FC, I think you need AC. So this is a mental logic that I found. To find this I need this, to find this I need this, to find this I need this. So I think I'll start with AC first. So let's start with AC. The centripetal acceleration, which is v square by r. Velocity is nothing but 8. So 8 square by radius, which is 16. 8 square is 64. 64 by 16 is nothing but 4 meters per second square. This is centripetal acceleration. Next point, centripetal force will be mass into acceleration. Mass is 1000. So 1000 into centripetal acceleration is 4. So it will be 4 kilonewton. That's your centripetal force. Next thing, I saw from here that F square is Fc square plus Ft square. F square is Fc square plus Ft square, correct? What is F? The friction. What can be the maximum value? 7. So kilonewton. So 7. Oh guys, I think this was not supposed to be 7. This was supposed to be 5. Misprint. Okay. This is supposed to be 5 because I can see it will not be a perfect square. That's how I remember that it should not be 7. Okay. That's a printing mistake. Ignore that. So this will be 5 square is equal to, centripetal is nothing but 4. So 4 square plus Ft square. Therefore, Ft square will be 5 square, which is 25, minus 16, which is nothing but 9. So the tangential force will be 3 kilonewton. Will be 3 kilonewton. Everybody with me on this? Now the last thing that you need to do is, from tangential force, how do you find tangential acceleration? Ft is mass into tangential acceleration. The force is 3 kilo, that means 3 into 10 to the power 3. Mass is 1000 into tangential acceleration. So tangential acceleration will be 3. That's it, 3 meters per second square. That is what was asked. So all kinds of concepts are there in this problem. You have centripetal acceleration, you have tangential acceleration, you have F is equal to ma, you have free body diagram, you have vectors over here, and the understanding of how these are going to come together. So that's why it's a beautiful question on circular motion plus Newton's laws combined together along with frictional chapter. 3 chapters together. So this is the rate at which it decelerates while it moves along that path. The main catch over here is figuring out friction is going to be at an angle. Remember this, if you're going with constant speed, what will be the tangential acceleration in a circular path? Put it up in the chat box, guys. If you're going with constant speed, what will be the value of tangential acceleration? Constant speed in a circular path, there will be no tangential acceleration. So there will be no tangential force. That means the net force will be along the center. The moment you increase the speed or decrease the speed, there will be tangential force and tangential acceleration. That's when the force will come at an inclined value. Keep this in mind. This will help you for solving problems. Moving on to the next one. Okay, beautiful question. Let's see what do we have. A block of certain mass is kept on a rough inclined plane as shown. The force of 3 Newton is applied on the block. Coefficient of static friction is also given between the plane and the block. What should be the minimum value of the force such that the block doesn't come down? First of all, tell me, will static friction act or kinetic friction act? Will static friction act or kinetic friction act? The block shouldn't come down. Shouldn't come down, that means it is right now not moving. So if it is not coming, it is stationary. So obviously static friction. Where does static friction act? What direction does it act? It always opposes the tendency of the motion. Wherever it wants to move, it will oppose it. Where does the block want to move? It wants to move downward. You're preventing it from moving downwards. So basically it wants to come down. Hence the friction will oppose that tendency to go down. It will act upwards. So in this free body diagram, I'm just going to draw the frictional force upwards. Obviously there will be normal force. Obviously this will be mg cos 45 or mg cos theta, I can say mg cos theta, and there will be an additional force over here of mg sin theta, and the acceleration is 0 because it is in equilibrium. Very good. Hello Aryam, very good. Awesomeness. Now let's try solving the problem using Newton's laws at equilibrium. So at equilibrium the net force should be 0. So hence P plus F max upward force will be the downward force, which is 3 plus mg sin theta. We want to find the value of P. So P will be 3 plus mg sin theta minus friction. Now this frictional force is going to be mu n. N is going to be mg cos. So it will be mu mg cos theta. So that's the value of the frictional force. So when I take it on the other side, it's just going to be mu mg cos of theta. Now let's substitute the values and see what do we get. First of all, mg is common, and the good thing is, because theta is 45, for 45 degrees, sine theta is equal to cos theta is equal to 1 by root 2, only for that value. So I can just take 1 by root 2 also common, and I'll have just 1 minus mu. Now substitute everything. Mass is 10, gravity is also 10, this is 1 by root 2, and this is 1 minus mu. Mu is nothing but 0.6. So let's see what do we get. 3 plus 100 into 1 by root 2 is 0.7 into 1 minus 0.6. 1 minus 0.6, actually it is 0.707. It's actually 0.707 into 1 minus 0.6 is 0.4. So guys, this is just going to be 3 plus. So I can shift the decimal. So it will be 7.07, okay, into 4. So this is going to be 3 plus 28 point something. So it is going to be 31 point something. So the minimum force required will be how much? 32 Newton. 31 point something is close to 32. Hence the answer is 32 Newton. Everybody with me on this? Cool? These are brilliant problems, guys, for your final leg of preparation of NEET examination. And if you are watching it for JEE or BITSAT or EMSAT, guys, feel free to do so, because these questions might come in all the examinations. At the end of the day, JEE Mains and NEET both are designed by NTA. So the level of JEE Mains and NEET these years, from the past years, we have seen that it is almost same, hardly much of difference out there. Okay, moving on to the next one. There is a mass of 10 kg suspended by a rope from a ceiling. There is a force which is applied at the midpoint such that the top half of the rope makes 45 degrees. What is the value of that force? Manisha, yes, bacha, this is the aim. The target is not 150, the target is 180, bacha. No, we are not aiming for 150, we are aiming for 180, bacha. This problem, the previous one will come under difficult for the NEET. Remember, there is a section B in NEET which has some good level problems, so it will come in that section. Okay, moving on to the next one. So if the mass is suspended, you apply a force such that the top half makes 45 degrees. What is the value of the force? So the top half of the rope makes 45 degrees. Okay, so the weight is still going to be here. You are going to pull by applying a force. The weight of 10 kg is going to be here, and this is the roof like this. The question is, what is the value of that force so that this makes 45 degrees? Interesting question. So what I feel we can do is, we can probably split the forces. Maybe that will help us, because obviously there is going to be a tension force as well over here. So how about splitting it in this direction? Okay, now you can see this is 45 degrees also. This is also 45. Even this is 45 degrees. The force along this direction, will be F cos 45 degrees, correct? F cos 45. The 10 kg force, the 10g force, actually it is not 10 kg, I should put it as 10g. The 10g force will also have a component in this direction, and that will be also cos 45 component. So this will be 10g cos 45. Yes, there will be other components in this direction, but I'm not bothering about that direction. Just worry about this direction. Let's say I call this as the x-axis. Let's say I call this as the y-axis. Will tension have any component in the x-axis? No, right? There is force component, there is weight component. That's all. Don't you say they are opposite? And this is at equilibrium. So at equilibrium, the net force in the x direction or y direction is 0. I will choose the x-axis because I do not know the value of tension. That's all. So use that concept. So 10g cos 45 is F cos 45. Cos 45 goes. So F is 10g. That means it is 100 Newton. That's it. That's all. There you go. 100 Newton. Beautiful. You can also do it by tan. Yep, you can also do it by tan. Definitely. It's going to come out to be the same thing at the end of the day. Very good, my warriors. Okay, let's move on to the next one coming up on your screen. This question everybody should be able to do. Interstellar spacecraft, very far away from all the planets. And then there is some rocket which is used as thrust boosters. So there is some, spacecraft which is like this. And there are some thrust boosters over here. That means some gas is being ejected, because of which it accelerates. Now, suddenly the engine malfunctions. So this engine malfunctions, it suddenly stops. The engine will stop. So what do you think will happen? What do you think will happen to the occupants inside? So there will be some occupants inside. What do you think will happen? Or to the spacecraft? Very good, Latesh. Come on. Yes, Salva Kumar, definitely. Hello everyone. Yes, option A was correct, James Burke. Okay, come on. Option D, sure. Let's try this out. If this engine was on, what was happening? There was a force which was created. The moment it malfunctions and stops, the force because of the engine will be zero. So hence the acceleration will be zero. If acceleration will be zero, the velocity will be constant. This is nothing but your Newton's first law. Nothing but first law. Hence, whatever was the final speed, the same speed will continue forever. It is never going to stop because there are no external forces. When there are no external forces, unbalanced forces, the body maintains its state of motion. That's what this is. Newton's first law. Very good. Moving on to the next one. A train is moving with certain speed on a curved path of certain radius. This is a PYQ. The distance between the rails is given. And the question is, what is the difference between the height of the outer rail and the inner rail? So when you see these kind of questions, remember, this is as good as a banked question. So you have the inner rail over here. This is the outer rail over here. And this distance, the base distance between the rails is 1.5. The base distance is 1.5 meters. The question is, what is basically the height? So what is the height? So this is basically your theta. This is your banked track. Remember, whenever you see such a question, use the formula of optimum speed. I just made you revise the formula of optimum speed. What was it, my warriors? It was root of Rg tan of theta. Root of Rg tan of theta. Correct, guys? Very good. So some of you are saying option D. Is it? I don't know. Let's find it out. V0. Acha, 36 is in kilometers per hour. Common mistake, students forget to convert it into meters per second. So how many meters per second? It is 10 meters per second. How did I get it? Remember, whenever it is in kilometers per hour, multiplied by 5 by 18 to get it into meters per second. So that's why it will be 10 meters per second. Okay, that's a standard conversion. So this will be nothing but 10 is equal to root of radius is nothing but 200 into g is nothing but 10 into tan theta. Tan theta will be h by 1.5. Now square both sides. You are just going to get 100 over here. This will be 200 into 10 into h. 1.5 is 3 by 2. Now let's cancel few things. 0, 0, 0, 0 goes. So I will just get 1 is equal to 2 2s are 4 and into basically 10 into h by 3. So h is nothing but 3 by 4 into 1 by 10. 3/4 is 0.75. So 0.75 by 10. So h is nothing but 0.075. That's the answer. Let's check this out. Yes, option A is correct. Tan theta is 1 by root 2. Okay, maybe you can get that, but you don't need the value of tan theta. You can just probably substitute the value of tan theta. Tan theta is opposite by base. So that's it. It's going to be h by 1.5. Okay. I want you to tell me, guys, aren't you learning and revising all the concepts through these questions? What say? Don't you want the same thing to be done for the rest of the units? Yes or no? Come on, guys. Where is the chat box? Why is it not live? Come on, let me know. What if they ask the width? Then height will be given, the width will be asked. It's the same thing. This will be given, this will be asked. That's all. Very good. Remember, I'm going to end the series with sure short questions, okay, as the exam approaches, with a big set of questions. And practice is always good. Very good. Let's move to the next set of questions. Here it comes. String passing over a frictionless pulley has a mass of 6 kg attached. To the other end, there is 10 kg. What is the tension in the thread? This was a previous year question. Now, realize the diagram for this question is not given. So you have to predict the diagram. There is a pulley and there are two masses over here. One of the mass is 6 kg. The other mass is basically 10 kg. Obviously, this will go down, this will go up. Standard 8-wood machine pulley mass problem. The question is, what is the tension? Obviously, the tension throughout the string will be the same. And when you use the FBD and Newton's laws and solve the question, you are just going to get with this final answer, 2m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2 into g. It's better you remember this result because this is useful many times. It will save you at least a minute of problem solving in the exam. Better remember it. Okay, so what is the mass given? It is nothing but 6. What is the other mass? It is 10. This is 6 plus 10 into g is also again 10. Well, this will be nothing but 2 6 are 12. So 12, 120, and there is one more 0, and 6 plus 10, that's 16, guys. Okay, if you want, I can just simplify this, divided by 4. This will become 3. This will become 4. So it's going to be 75 Newton, I suppose. Just check this out. Yep, 75 Newton. Yes, option C is there, right over there. Awesomeness. Yeah, you can use open up method. You can find acceleration. From acceleration, you can find tension. Either ways, you will get the same answer. Basically, the equations will look something like this. 10g minus t is equal to 10 into a, and t minus 6g is equal to 6 into a. Solving this, you will get the value of acceleration and tension. The same tension, I have saved it up for you. This is the direct formula. Okay, this will help you save some time, or else you'll have to do all of this. Moving on, next question. Okay, thank you, Jitendra. And I'm always doing all this stuff only because of your love and support. And I really hope that this continues because, you know, I am ready to work hard for all of you till the end. So guys, keep loving, keep supporting, keep smashing that like button and keep hitting the subscribe button. A mass is performing vertical circular motion. The average velocity of the particle is increased. At which point do you think there is a good chance of braking? Come on, you can try it out for yourself or visualize it. If you revolve your hand like this and you slowly increase your speed, where do you think it might break? Your hand feels like, okay, it's going to break. Is it going to be at the top? Is it going to be at the sides? Or is it going to be at the bottom? Or think as if I'm holding some heavy object. Imagine my hand is a string. I don't want to revolve this, the water will fall off and everything will just be spoiled. Think carefully. Yes, Deepthi PM, definitely. It is going to be the bottommost point. Yes, tension is maximum. String will become slack, will become less tension at the topmost point. So T is minimum at the top, T is maximum at the bottom. So it can break over here. And if the question was on slacking, it can slack over here. Slack is not asked, break is asked. So hence the answer is obviously B. B for Bombay. Right. Thank you, Surya. Means a lot, bacha. Keep it up. Keep learning. Keep learning. Now, this is a beautiful question. Students make different, assumptions, or they try to do this problem in different ways. Let me tell you, this is a very simple question. There is an equation given. Coefficient of friction is given. The maximum height is asked at which the block can be kept. Let me make you visualize this. So y is a function of x. It's cubic function. So it looks something like this. Y is x cube by 6, where this is your x-axis and this is your y-axis. This is how it is. Now, when you keep a block, as you keep the block higher and higher, the chances of it slipping increases. So maybe there is a point till which you can keep the block. Think of an imaginary plane over here, and you cannot increase the angle beyond a point, because after that angle on an inclined plane, the block slips. That angle is called as, come on, the angle of an inclined plane after which the block starts slipping is called as the angle of dash. Let's see how many of you are going to remember that name and put it up in the chat box ASAP, as soon as possible. That's ASAP. Come on, guys. Let's see who is the first one to put it up in the chat box. The angle at which the block starts slipping is called as the angle of, and what is the formula for that? Try to recollect that as well. Excellent, Darshini, Madhusudan, Vanasarthi, very good. Hi, Siddhartha, Kunbuli, very good, Tahana. Yes, it's called an angle of repose, and that angle of repose, which is tan of alpha, is the coefficient of static friction. That is the standard formula which you must know. So the question is, how do you find tan of alpha? Well, this is nothing but a tangent. Don't you see? This is nothing but the tangent, and this is nothing but the slope of the tangent. And whenever we are talking about the slope of a tangent, it's nothing but the derivative. So hence dy by dx is just going to be mu s. It's going to be mu s. That's all. Slope of a tangent is nothing but the derivative. So dy by dx. So just use the derivative. So derivative of x cube, 6 is just going to come outside, is mu s. Mu s is nothing but 2 by 3. Well, x cube's derivative is 3x square by 6 is as it is equal to 2 by 3. Now this 3 goes with this. This will become 2. So x square, I think there was probably a mismatch in the answer. I am guessing that the answer will not come out to be whatever is given over here. But anyways, we'll just try this out. 2 square is nothing but 4, and this 3 is just going to come over here. Fair enough? Now once I get x square, I can also get x. X is nothing but root of this. So I can just write it as 2 by root of 3. Now all you need to do is find out the height. The question is find out the height. So how do you find out the height? Height means y coordinate. So y coordinate, use it, find it using that equation. Y is x cube by 6. So x cube means 2 by root 3 whole cube by 6. Now 2 cube is nothing but 8. Root 3 cube is nothing but just going to be put up as like this, and there will be 6 over here. Just cancel this 2 times, so this will become 3, this will become 4, so this will be 4 by 3, and root 3 cube, root 3 into root 3 into root 3 is 3 root 3. Just put this as 3 root 3. This will be 4 by 9 root 3. That's all. That's all. Now the problem is that no such option is there. Okay, forget the options, but let me tell you, the concept was very important. This is the final answer. Is that clear? Such an option was not there. Very, very important question. Just convert the tangent into an inclined plane and think the maximum angle will be when the angle of the inclined plane is the angle of repose. Angle of repose is tan alpha, which is mu s. Tan is slope, slope is derivative. Equation is given, take the derivative. That's all that is there in this beautiful question. Okay, so moving on to the next one. So ignore the options, guys. The options are not matching because there was some mistake in the data. Otherwise, whatever method is there, that is correct. There is a light spring, hangs from the hook. The other end is balanced. Other end of the light spring is balanced, and there is a block of mass m from the former one. And the true statement about the scale reading is, there is a light spring balance, hangs from the hook of another spring balance, and a block hangs from the previous one. Then what is correct? spring after the spring. Yes, JK, when I will respond, bacha. I think I responded to some 50 people yesterday on Instagram, and there were still more of like some 400-500 messages. I don't know how I'm going to clear my inbox. The moment I try to clear my inbox, some new messages come in, and I try to clear that, and some new messages come in, plus the old messages also. So it's always crazy, and I hardly get 15-20 minutes in a day for myself. That's all. Okay, let's see. Some of you are saying option A. This is M, this is spring balance 1, this is spring balance 2. Guys, these are light spring balances. This is very important. This word is very important. Both of the scales will read same. Yep, it will not be different. A lot of people think it will be M by 2, M by 2. No, each one of them will read the same because there is no weight of the spring balance. If the spring balances were arranged like this, then the answer will be M by 2 and M by 2. Right now it will be just M and M. So understand, if they are in parallel, they will bear half and half of the weight. Totally they will bear M kg. So each one will distribute half of the weight. But here it's in series, one after the other. Each one has to go through the same thing. Hence it will be M kg. Moving on to the next one. Now this is a beautiful question on circular motion. This can come in section B of your NEET examination in the difficult category. Read it. Two wheels mounted side by side each other marked with the dot and a rim. The dots are aligned with the wheels. One wheel is given this acceleration, other wheel is given this acceleration. The two dots align themselves again after how much time? So what is happening is, there is a wheel here, there is this marking, and then let's say there is another wheel behind of this, okay, something like this. There is a marking here. Now this wheel is accelerated, let's say with, I don't know, maybe pi by 4 radians per second square, and this wheel is accelerated with pi by 2 radians per second square. Both of them will accelerate with different amounts. They will not be aligned, and after some time they get aligned. The question is, after what time will they get aligned? For solving these questions, okay, first of all, let's draw it in a much better way. So let's think of it like this. This is that big circle, or one of the circles, and then there is this other circle. There is a marking here, and exactly behind of that, there is another marking. Now they are aligned, but their accelerations are different. So what I do, I will sit on one of them and look at the other. Sit on one of them and look at the other. So when you sit on one of them and look at the other, you will see relative angular acceleration. Relative acceleration. Yes, Anurag, it is helpful. Guys, are you able to visualize it? Both are rotating. Both are rotating. So their relative angular acceleration, will it be pi by 4 plus pi by 2 or pi by 4 minus pi by 2 radians per second square? Think, both are moving in the same direction. So think about it. What will be the relative angular acceleration? Think carefully and let me know. Yes, Badri, it is obviously simpler. NEET is slightly simpler. Yes, Dhani, I'll do it after some days, bacha. First, let's concentrate on NEET 2022. Think about it. Think about it. So if you make this guy as the frame of reference, so if you make this at rest, think about it. What will be the relative? Both are moving in the same direction, right? So just like two cars moving in the same direction, what is the relative speed? V1 minus V2. V1 minus V2. So when they are moving in the same direction, relative will be the subtraction of the two. Hence, the relative angular acceleration will be bigger number, which is pi by 2 minus pi by 4, which is again going to be pi by 4 radians per second square. Now think like this, as if the blue guy is at rest. It's not even moving. The green guy is moving. Green guy is moving. They are aligned now. After some time, the green will again come back to this point. The green will again come back to this point. Think about it. The green point, the marking on it is going to come back over here and it will be aligned. So how many rotations has it taken? How many rotations has it taken? one rotation. And one rotation has how many radians? What is the angle that it has displaced? That radians is nothing but 2 pi radians. That's all. So the blue guy is not even rotating. You are sitting on the relative frame. So you see that the green marking goes one revolution, which is exactly 2 pi radians. So the relative angular displacement is 2 pi. Hence, I will just say 2 pi radians has to be covered. Which equation will you use? S is equal to ut plus half at square. So theta is equal to initial angular velocity into time plus half alpha into t square. This is second kinematic equation. Just use that and you will get the answer. Let's try this out. Theta is 2 pi. Initially, both of them were at rest. Both of them are at rest. So it's clearly mentioned. So 0 plus half alpha is relative, which is pi by 4 into t square. So first of all, you can see pi, pi, bye. Okay, so take it on the upper side. 2 2s are 4, 4 4s are 16. 16 is equal to t square. So t is equal to 4 seconds. Solution is just 3 lines. 1, 2, 3. Maybe you can count this one also. 4 lines. 4 lines. But the concept is very tricky. So this is a beautiful question which can come in your NEET exam. Okay, shall we go ahead, my warriors? Did you love this question? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you love this question? 1 being the least, 10 being the highest. How much did you love the question? Electrodynamics also I'm going to do, Anurag, in the block number 2, I think, or 3. Loved it? Great. Moving on to the next one. 10. Very good, Srimati. Why not do 2 pi by pi by 4? Because we are taking relative. See, Sugbag, that relative only happens in refractive index. That relative refractive index is mu2 by mu1. There you divide. But for velocity, you subtract. Relative velocity, relative acceleration, relative displacement, it's v1 minus v2, a1 minus a2, s1 minus s2. Refractive index is the only place where you see it's mu2 by mu1. Okay, so don't confuse that. 9. Oh my god. Space says 11. Okay. So the concept of this question is basically, since both the markings are moving and you have to find after how much time will they again come back such that they are aligned. So what I do, instead of moving both of them, I keep one at rest. So right now both the markings are aligned. So now once one of the disc or one of the wheel is at rest, the other disc moves relative to it and the markings align after exactly one rotation. So the relative rotation, the relative angular displacement is 2 pi radians. That's the concept. And then relative angle acceleration is found out using second kinematic equation in circular motion. You can find it. Remember, kinetic equations are also applicable in circular motion. Okay, great. I hope, Varman, this is clear. Let's move on to work per energy, center of mass and collisions. We are halfway through our today's lecture. Halfway through, because work per energy and then rotation. That's it. So 2 more chapters, 2 more units to go. Okay, work per energy, center of mass and collisions. Let's start with it. Let's see how many of you remember the center of mass distance for a solid hemisphere. For a solid hemisphere. Come on. Come on. Tell me. It's very good. Solid hemisphere. Where is the center of mass? What is the distance from the center? Solid hemisphere. Is it r by 2 or is it 3r by 8? Well, it is r by 2 for hollow, 3r by 8 for solid hemisphere. Very good. Those of you got it. Very good. Okay, everybody with me on this? Alright, come on. Then answer the next question. The coefficient of restitution, is it speed of approach by speed of separation, or is it speed of separation by speed of approach? The coefficient of restitution, is it speed of approach by speed of separation, or is it speed of separation by speed of approach? Come on, let me know in the chat box. Let me know in the chat box. Coefficient of restitution is always less than 1 for normal collisions. In elastic collisions, it's 1 only for elastic collisions. So if it has to be usually less than 1, so when things collide, they lose energy and they go slowly. So the relative speed of separation is less, approach is higher, so separation will be on the top, approach will be higher, it's at the bottom. Separation by approach. Very good, excellent. Next question for all of you. Impulse, is it the area under some graph? If so, which graph's area or slope gives you, impulse? Impulse is, I think, some area or some slope of certain graph. Which graph's area or slope is impulse? Tell me, what is there on the y-axis, what is there on the x-axis, and is it slope or is it an area? Dharni, like I said, only after 2022 exam is done, then I will do it. Okay, the strategy for 2023. Exactly, force versus time, and is it slope or area? Yes, it is the area under the force versus time which gives you the impulse. Correct. And impulse is nothing but the change in the momentum. Very good, guys. Tell me, when do you think mechanical energy is conserved? When can you conserve the mechanical energy? And what is mechanical energy? Mechanical energy is the sum of kinetic energy plus the potential energy, right? Kinetic energy plus the potential energy. That's mechanical energy. When do you think you can conserve mechanical energy? I don't think it is conserved every time. Only certain times it is conserved. Those times are when non-conservative forces do not perform work. Non-conservative forces are not extracting or giving some energy to or from the system. What is this non-conservative force? These are evil forces like friction, viscosity, normal, tension. These are evil forces, non-conservative in nature. External, no, non-conservative. That's very, very important. When do you think work done can be negative? What do you think is the condition for work done to be negative? Is there some condition? When is the work done negative? I feel there is a condition. Think about it. When force and displacement are in a certain orientation. The answer is okay, yes, when there is only internal conservative force, basically, yes, that's also a different way of looking at it. The answer is when force and displacements are at not just 180 but even obtuse angles. No, 180 degrees is not the answer. Any obtuse angle, because cos of 90 to 180 second quadrant, it is negative. So any obtuse angle, it is negative. Any acute angle, it is positive. 90 degrees, it is 0. Yep, that is what it is. Cool? So these are some quick revision concepts. Let's start with some questions coming up on your screen. Force displacement graph is given. Question is, what is the change in the kinetic energy? Hint, work kinetic energy theorem. Anti-parallel, Aditi, or even obtuse, both will work. Let's move on. Change in kinetic energy is asked. Force displacement graph is given. Area under force displacement gives you work. Okay, so we all know work done is change in kinetic energy. That's it. Use work done is nothing but the area under force versus displacement graph. I can clearly see this area is exactly equal to this area. This will be positive, this will be negative. Height, same. This area is equal to this area. This will be positive, this will be negative. I can clearly see that the area is 0, hence the change in kinetic energy is also going to be 0. That's the answer. Yep, option A it is. Remember, when it is on the top, it's positive. When it's below, it's negative. And the total area, which is the total work, is always the change in the kinetic energy, not kinetic energy. Change, final minus initial. Okay, very good. So answer is 0 because this height, same. This width, same. This width, this height, same. So they are going to cancel. Next question. Excellent, BTB, Gokul, Monica, Srimati. Very good, Sri Harsha, Anurag, very good. But area can't be negative, no, Anurag. So the way area has been defined when you talk about curves is when it is above the horizontal line, it's positive. When it's below the horizontal line, it is negative. The area that you are talking about is the, that physical area. Yes, the physical area can't be positive, can't be negative, but the area under a curve has been defined as positive and negative depending on where it is situated. Okay, it's not having any physical significance as such. You can't have negative realistic area. It's just a sign associated with the area for curves only. Okay. Isn't work a path function? Work is a path function only for non-conservative forces. So work depends on the path taken only for evil forces like tension, normal, friction, etc. But for gravity, electrostatics, etc., which is a conservative force, it only depends on initial and final position, state function. So it depends on the type of the force. So question is the work done by the force. I feel we can use work kinetic energy theorem. Work is change in kinetic energy, which is half m v square minus half m u square. So half into m, mass is 6. So v square minus u square, that is what we need to find. So this will be 3 into, now I need to substitute the velocity. How do I find velocity? Position is given. So use derivatives, of course. So velocity is nothing but dx by dt, which is nothing but derivative of t square, which is 2t by 4, which is nothing but t by 2. So after 2 seconds, the final velocity will be 2 by 2, which is 1. And initial velocity, that is 0 by 2, is going to be 0 meters per second. So use these values over here. It will be 1 square, this will be 0 square. Rest is as it is. So this is just going to be 3 joules. Done, done, done. Very good. See if option D is there. So after the 6 we don't care. It is not even you don't have to bother about it. Okay, for the previous problem. Okay, it's only given till 6 meters. Read the question, 0 to 6. That's why don't bother about that diagram. It's clearly mentioned in the question, till 6 meters. I hope this is clear. Okay, otherwise you will have to do some crazy things like integration or I don't know, some more derivatives to find this answer, because the work done is an integral of force with displacement. So force is not given. So best way to go about this is via work kinetic energy theorem, which says that the net work done is always the change in the kinetic energy. Moving on to the next question. Nobody knows, Mohammed, whether it will be easier or tougher, but by the look of it, I think it is going to be as tough as 2021 only, or as easy as 2021. Okay, so don't expect the level to go up a lot. I feel it will be as much as the previous year, or maybe even slightly less, because I saw that the JEE paper this year was slightly easier, and since the same NTA makes JEE mains paper as well as the NEET paper, so I'm guessing it will be almost the same as the previous year, or maybe even slightly less as well. Okay, moving on. A body is thrown vertically from the earth and it reaches a height equal to the radius and it returns to the earth. The power is largest at which point? Visualize the diagram and then try to do it. Oh my God, Jai Ajin get 208 marks in the first attempt, and thanks to the Zero to Hero series, 86 marks in physics. Oh my God, Jai Ajinkya, you really made me proud today. I'm very happy. Jai Ajinkya, start your JEE advanced preparation. Vacha, 208 marks for sure you are getting an NIT. Okay, you are going to get an NIT for sure. Okay, so it's just a matter of now. IIT, just prepare really hard for JEE advanced. I'm pretty sure you will nail it, Bacha. I'm so confident about this now. Keep it up, keep it up. So, a body projected vertically up from the surface of the earth. It goes up and comes down over here. Where do you think power is maximum? Power is force into velocity into cos theta. Observe it carefully. At the highest point, the velocity itself is 0, so power is 0. Over here, the gravitational force is down, the velocity is up. So force and velocity opposite, theta is 180. So the power is negative. When it comes down, force is also here, velocity is also here. The power is going to be positive. Here it's positive, here it's negative, here it's 0. Out of these three, where is it highest? Obviously, this is the highest. Positive number is more than 0 and it's obviously more than the negative number. This is the lowest value. So where will it be highest? Where will it be highest? Obviously, at the instant just before it hits the ground. It's just before it hits the ground. It can't be constant. Definitely. Badri, work hard, bacha. Jaya and so many others have done it. You can also do it. There is a chance now to improve that 111 to at least 180. I'm telling you, you can easily improve 70 marks. Okay, it's just hardly around 20 to 25 marks per subject. You have to just solve some more questions. That's all. You have to solve some 7-8 questions extra per subject. You have to think which are those 7-8 questions per subject which you have to solve. Plan accordingly. Choose chapters wisely. Think which you can do in the last few days. Moving on. Next question. A block having certain mass collides with another mass which is at rest. The lighter mass comes to rest. The velocity of the block is given. Then the value of the coefficient of restitution will be how much? Let's try to draw the diagram first. Without that, I will not get an idea. So there is a ball of mass m. It is moving with velocity v. It collides with another ball which is right now at rest. After the collision, what happens is that this ball comes to rest and then this ball of mass 2m starts moving. I don't know the velocity. So the question is, restitution is how much? Now the value of the coefficient of restitution is, remember, separation, relative velocity of separation by relative velocity of approach. Look at this. With what speed are they separating? This is at rest. So the relative speed of separation is just v1. With what speed are they approaching? This is at rest. It's approaching at v. But the problem is I do not know the value of v1. So there's only one way of doing it, and that's momentum conservation. So let's apply conservation of momentum. Conservation of momentum. So using conservation of momentum, what will we do? Initial momentum is nothing but m into v plus 2m into velocity 0 is equal to this mass is now at rest plus 2m into v1. mm cancels, so v will be equal to 2v1, so v1 is equal to v by 2. Use this value of v by 2 over here. This will be v by 2. That's it, substitute it, and this is v cancels, so I'm just going to get it as half. So that's the answer of coefficient of restitution, and that's obviously 0.5. So you have to use both the equations out here. I hope this is understood. Okay? Yes, Badri, you will do it. Don't worry. Even if you have started it now, there were a lot of students last year who watched my at least last 2-3 weeks and they improved their percentiles. Okay, so you don't know when your attempt is going to be. Maybe it is going to be after 25th of July. You still have almost 18 to 20 days. You can do a lot of things. I am so glad. Oh my God, Jagdish, I know you are my old student. You followed the Pathfinder and just 0 to superhero. I'm so happy, bacha. 80 marks plus in physics is a very good number. Keep it up, keep it up. I am so expecting all of these kind of comments in 2-3 weeks later on from all the NEET students. You should come and tell me, sir, I got at least 150 marks. Sir, I got 160 marks. Sir, I got 140 marks in physics. Yes, my total score in NEET exam is 600, 620, 650, 700. You are going to tell that. You just have to hang on there. Okay, believe in yourself. It's just a matter of time now. Okay, don't lose hope. Every day you can improve your marks by 10 to 15 marks. In the last few days, every day if you work for 10-15 marks per day, you will boost your score by at least 100 marks in 2-3 weeks. Work hard, guys. Don't give up. Moving on. Next question. Now, in this question, what is asked? Water falls from certain height at this rate. And there are some losses in the turbine. So how much power is generated by the turbine? That's the question. Come on guys, try this question out. Let me just drink some water. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, let's see. Water falls from certain height at this much rate to operate a turbine. Losses due to friction are 10% of the energy. How much power is generated from the turbine? So guys, all you need to do is understand how much energy will be given by the water. So the potential energy of the water, the losses are 10%, okay? So the losses due to the friction are 10%. So 90% of the potential energy of the water will convert itself into the energy which is electrical energy. Same thing applies for the power also. So the electrical power will be 9/10 of the power of the water which is coming in. Now the power will be nothing but, think about it, the water is falling at 1.5 kgs per second. So if the potential energy of the water is mgh, the mgh divided by the time gives you the power. Mgh is the energy and per unit time, so divided by t, that gives you the power. So now it's just a matter of thinking what are these values going to be. M by t is exactly given, which is nothing but 1.5. G is 10 and the height is 60. That's it. So this 0 goes and 1.5. So this will be 9 into 15 into 6. Just do the math and see what is the correct answer. No, you don't have to do root 2 GH and etc. You're going to get it as 8.1 kilowatts or basically 8100 watts. That's it. That's the answer. Is that clear, my bacha log? Is that understood? So it's just a matter of that and you are just going to get this. Fair enough. Let's move on to the next question. Here it comes on center of mass. Center of mass. Oh, thank you, Aarti, so much. Moving on. 3 spheres, each of mass, you know, what is it? 1 kg, 1 kg, 1 kg, touching each other. Centers are on a straight line, marked as P, Q. This is comma, not less than, R respectively. The distance of the center of mass is how much? Okay, what's the formula for center of mass for 3 masses? So the x coordinate of the center of mass will be m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m3 x3 divided by m1 plus m2 plus m3. What is m1, m2, m3? All are equal. They are identical. So it will be m. x1 is at the origin, so it will be 0 plus m2 same. x2 is this distance, which is nothing but pq, plus m3 is also same. x3 is nothing but this coordinate, which is nothing but pr. The whole thing divided by m plus m. 0, mm cancels anyways. So it will be nothing but pq plus pr. Mm has cancelled, so 1 plus 1. So this is going to be pq plus pr, the whole thing divided by 3. That's the answer. That's the answer. pq plus pr, not qr. So it's option B, guys. A lot of people get confused between option B and option C. Nope, it's not C, it's option B. Oh, is it, Aarti? Oh my God, the seniors have been our ex-alumni of this channel. I'm so glad. And maybe you can share from which city you are from, Aarti, if you don't mind. And which seniors. Was it your college? Was it your school? I'll be really happy and delighted to know. Can I improve my score to 140? Yes, Srimati. If you're getting 70 to 90 marks, definitely you can. That means there are some topics which you need to brush up on. So concentrate on the weak topics, easy ones. You can definitely do it. At least work for 6 to 7 hours per day for physics alone. If your other subjects are fine. If not, then work for at least 5 hours. Okay? 5 hours or 5.5 hours for physics. That's all. Moving on to the next one. Thank you, Hemant. Okay. Oh yeah, definitely, Aarti, give it. A lot of students do that. This is a very good trick, Aarti, actually. So many students don't know. You can actually give JEE or NEET even this year, even if you are in 11th or 10th. Just give it for the fun of it. You know how the exam feels like, and that's it. And just come out. And then you know next year that how the exam feels like, how the paper is going to be, how the entire process is going to be. So there are no surprises, and then you just go and give the test confidently. Okay. So this is a beautiful question. A particle falls vertically, strikes a plane at an angle of 30, inelastically moves horizontally after the impact. What's the restitution coefficient? Okay, this is the plane, this is 30 degrees, and let's say this is the normal to the plane. This is the normal to the plane. As per the question, it falls vertically down like this. It comes down like this. After striking, it moves horizontally. It strikes like this and it goes like this, and after that it might go like that. Now the question is, what's E? Now let me tell you, this is a direct formula based question. There is a Snell's law for collision. Remember, whenever you have a surface and a particle hits and rebounds back like this, if this is the angle of incidence, this is the angle of reflection, then the coefficient of restitution is tan of I by tan of R. I often refer to it as the Snell's law in collision, because the formula looks similar. Instead of sine you have tan, and instead of your refractive index you have coefficient of restitution. Same formula, you can use it here. Just think, what is I, what is R, that's it, your job is done. So you can see over here, this is okay, so this is basically your angle I, and this is basically your angle R. So how do we find that out? Simple geometry. Observe carefully now. This is 30, obviously this is 30. Obviously this is 30. Two parallel lines, guys, two parallel lines, obviously alternate angles, this is 30, 30 each. Everybody seeing that? Okay, so if this is 30, this total angle is 90, so R will be how much? This is 30, total angle is 90, because this is a normal. How much will this be? This will be 60, right? And wait a minute, this is also 90. So if this is 60, how much will I be equal to? This will be 30 degrees. That's it. Now substitute everything and you will get the answer. So it will be tan of 30 degrees, okay, divided by tan of 60. Tan 30 is 1 by root 3. Tan 60 is just root 3. Root 3 into root 3 will be 3. So 1 by 3 is the answer. Done, done. No complicated math. This formula will save you so much of energy and time. My favorite topic, well, it's going to be mechanics and electromagnetism, maybe. But yeah, I usually like gravitation and electrostatics a lot because these are very good conceptual topics. Okay, awesomeness, guys. Let's move on to the next one. Coming up on your screen. Wow, what do we have? A body hits some surface at an angle. This is a previous year question, and rebounds back with, the time spent for the impact is this much. What is the force exerted by the wall? Let's draw the situation first. Let's draw it. There is a wall like this. Okay, this is the normal to the wall. Okay, and the ball hits at a speed of 10 at an angle of 60 degrees and then returns back with the same angle. So the ball hits and rebounds back with the same angle. Again, rebound wala question. So this is 60 degrees. Obviously, this is also going to be 60 degrees because it rebounds back with the same angle. It's mentioned in the question. Now, the question is, what is the force on the wall? Now, assume that I take this as my x-axis and this as my y-axis. You guys only put it in the chat box. Where do you think the net force will be on the ball? Will it be on the plus y? Will it be on the plus x? Will it be on the minus y? Or will it be on the minus x? Don't include gravity. Yes, it's an impulse problem. Yes, gravitation and electrostatics are similar to each other. Yep, the concepts are very similar. Think about this. Which momentum will change? Think about that. Which momentum will change? So when you look at this ball, which is entering like this ball, which is entering like this, will have two components, one like this and one like this. When it comes back, that same ball has a component like this and a component like this for this velocity. Out of these two components, which component has changed? You just think about it. A lot of you are saying minus y. Guys, that's wrong. Thank you, Monica. Looks like you remember when is my birthday. Okay, so guys, you can see that it is not going to change in the y direction. Sorry, it's not going to change in the yes, y direction. You can see this y component has not changed. Look at this. This is the y component, same y component. Here it was in plus x, here now it is in minus x. So the x component has reversed. It was going like this, it has reversed. So the x momentum has changed. And whenever momentum changes, there is a force. Hence, there must be a force in this direction. Hence, the force is going to be in the minus x-axis. The force is going to be in the minus x-axis. Everybody clear about this? Very good. Now that force is by definition change in momentum upon the time. The momentum has only changed in the x-axis, nothing else. So what's the momentum finally? What's the momentum initially? Let's write it down. The momentum change is final minus initial. So final momentum is this way. So minus mass is 3 into velocity's component. Be careful. This is 60. This is 60. This is v, which is 10. So obviously this will be 10. This will be 10 cos 60. Same like here, if this is 10, this is going to be 10 cos of 60. Okay, so I'm just going to write 3 into 10 cos 60. This is final minus initial. Initial is going to be again mass, which is 3, into velocity, which is 10, into again cos of 60. This whole thing divided by the time, which was 0.2. That's your answer. Let's try this out. So minus 2 times. So minus 3 into 10 into cos 60 into 2. The whole thing divided by 0.2, which is 2 into 10, of course. Now cos 60 into 2 will just cancel because cos 60 is half. Okay, so I'm just going to get over here, what is it? 3 by 2. Yes, so it's going to be minus 3 by 2. And this is 10 into 10, which is nothing but 100. So 3 by 2 is 1.5. So it's just going to be 150 Newton. The minus sign is just telling you the direction, but magnitude wise is just 150 Newton. That's all, which is option A. Happens, Jose. Beautiful question. These kind of questions do come in previous years. They sometimes give you, instead of angle, they just give you normal incidence. It just goes like that and comes back. Those questions also are there. Sometimes the angle is given. Sometimes the angle could be different. Even if the angle is different, don't get scared. It's just that this angle will be different. So the final velocity will have different momentum. So that's it. Otherwise, procedure is same. Is that clear? Moving on to the next one. A block of mass. Direction wise, Jose, look at this way. X component has reversed. Y component remains same. So momentum changed in X. It was going like that. It has reversed. So there was a force this way. That's the reason why this momentum has reversed. Hence the force is in minus X. That's all. And hence I said force, which is rate of change of momentum. That momentum change I will only consider x-axis, not the y-axis. Next question. There is a block which is kept on a platform which starts accelerating up. Question is work done by the normal reaction in certain time t as a function of time t. Jitendran, I'll probably put it by tomorrow, not today, maybe tomorrow. Okay, let's try this out. Work done by the normal reaction. So work done by the normal reaction will be the normal force multiplied by the displacement. And where is the normal force? Normal force is here. Even the displacement is upwards. Interesting. So I think I should put cos of 0 over here because angle between normal and displacement is 0. The problem is, what is normal, what is displacement, I do not know. I think I'll have to find it out individually. Let's try to find it out. Displacement, okay, maybe I'll try to find it out over here. Displacement will be found out by acceleration is given, initial speed is there, 0, yes, u is 0, Okay, acceleration is given, s is ut plus half at square. So ut plus half at square. Initial velocity is 0, acceleration is g by 2 into time is just random time t. So t square. So it will be g t square by 4. Correct? So instead of displacement, I'm just going to put g t square by 4. Remember, cos of 0 is just 1. Cos 0 is just 1. So don't worry about it. Now the last thing is normal force. Normal force, how do we find out? Using Newton's laws. So weight is downwards, acceleration is upwards. So n minus mg is mass into acceleration. So normal is mg plus ma, which is m into g by 2, which is 3mg by 2. So that's the normal force. Put it over here. 3mg divided by 2. So now it's simple. 3m into g is g square. T square as it is, 2 4s are 8. That's the answer. Done. Check it out. Option D is correct. A lot of people might make a mistake over here thinking that minus sign should come. No, work done is positive because displacement is also in the same direction. See where it is going. It's going up. If it was going down, then maybe the answer will be negative. Wasim sir, sorry, I will be probably taking the session for more half an hour. Yeah, more half an hour. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. Yes, we have come to the last segment of this chapter, this session, and that's rotational mechanics. Yep, let's move on. So guys, quickly tell me in the chat box, what's the moment of inertia of a rod about the end? What's the moment of inertia of a rod about the end when it is rotated? Come on, what is the formula? Is it ml square by something? G effective, no need, Jose. You can do that. I mean, still you will get the same answer because it's accelerating up. You will see G plus A will be still 3G by 2. You will still get the same answer. Is it ml square by 12? No, I don't think it's ml square by 12. It's ml square by 3 when it's at the end. A lot of students make this common mistake. Okay, keep this in mind. Tell me the condition for conserving angular momentum. What is that one thing which you'll look for in a problem when you will conserve angular momentum? What is that one thing that you will look for? Whenever you see like two discs are there, they are rotating, they are clubbed together, they start rotating with common speed, or there is a merry-go-round, a person jumps out of it. So what is the new speed after the jump? So guys, whenever you see these kind of questions, you will think of angular momentum conservation. So what is that condition that you will look for? What is that condition? We shall just search for Shreyas sir VIT strategy. You will get what are the expected ranks, etc. The torque is not constant. The torque is supposed to be 0. Correct. Whenever the torque is 0, then you will see the angular momentum will not change. That's very important. Remember, torque is dl by dt, rate of change of angular momentum. Excellent. Very good, guys. Now, let me ask you one last question. When you have a rolling object, then or object rolls on a surface, then what kind of friction acts? Is it static or is it kinetic? And what kind of work does it do? Positive, negative, or 0? Or it depends. A rolling object, what kind of friction acts and what kind of work is done? Come on, quickly think about this. Think about this. Come on, let me know. Object rolls. When there is object rolling, there is no slip. If there is no slip, there is no relative motion between the surfaces. When there is no relative motion between the surfaces, what will happen? Static friction will act. Correct. There will be no kinetic friction. It will be static. And when there is static friction, every time a new point comes in touch, in contact, and you will see it's a new point, new friction, it is not moving, no displacement, hence work done is 0. That's the reason why whenever you have rolling objects, you can conserve the energy. And remember, when an object rolls, it has two kinds of energies. One is the translational energy, which is half mv square, and then it has rotational energy, which is half I omega square. Moment of inertia into omega square. Okay, is that clear, everybody? Shall we start with some questions? Here's the first question on your screen. Work done is 0. That's why you can conserve energy also. Generally, the mass of a flywheel is concentrated on its rim. What's the reason for that? To decrease the moment of inertia, to increase the moment of inertia, to obtain stable equilibrium, to obtain a strong wheel. Very simple. The answer is, what is the meaning of flywheel? Flywheel is where the masses are concentrated at the end, so it has a large moment of inertia, because the formula is summation mi ri square. So if r is more, moment of inertia is higher, and because of that it has very little chance of changing its speed. So the speed is maintained. Speed is maintained. That's the job of a flywheel. So it will not allow the speed to change very easily because it has large amount of moment of inertia. Hence option, this is not option A, guys, ignore it. It is option B. It is option B. Very good, guys. It's not for equilibrium or a strong wheel. Very good. Moving on to the next question. Here it is. Two thin diseases. Sorry, guys, I think some biology person has made the slide. It is not diseases, it is discs. Okay, these are discs of each of mass m and radius r are touching each other. There is an axis passing through B. The question is, to form a rigid body, the rotational inertia of this body about an axis perpendicular to the plane of the disc B and passing through its center is how much? The question is, what is the moment of inertia about this axis? Two discs are joining each other, touching each other. I feel you have to use some kind of theorem, obviously. So the moment of inertia will be moment of inertia of disc B plus moment of inertia of disc A. For B, it is simple, it's a disc, so it is mr square by 2. But for A, I cannot do that because I only know the moment of inertia about this axis. I think I'll have to shift it. How do I shift from one axis to this axis, which are parallel to each other? The name is parallel axis theorem, and that is nothing but the moment of inertia about center of mass plus m into the shift square. That's your parallel axis theorem. So mr square by 2 plus center of mass, it has the same moment of inertia, mr square by 2, and the shift is, be careful, this is r, the shift is 2 times of r. Lot of students make a mistake out there. Correct. So that is going to be 2r whole square. So mr square by 2 plus mr square by 2 is mr square plus 2 square is 4, so 4mr square. So this is 5mr square. That's the answer. Done. Moving on to the next question. Let's hurry up, guys. Okay, very good. Moving on to the next one. Coming up on your screen. A flywheel of 1 meter radius, of mass 50 kg, radius of gyration of this much, is acted upon by a force. So on its rim, what is the velocity after 5 seconds? Many concepts in one question. Let's try this out. Visualize the diagram first. So there is there is some wheel of radius of 1 meter. There is a force acting, and the force is constant of 12.5 newtons. And the question is, what is the velocity after 5 seconds? Obviously it will accelerate, and once it accelerates, it starts from rest, so eventually it will have some final angular velocity. So in order to find that final angular velocity, I'll use this relationship, which is V is U plus A into T, equivalent in circular motion. Final angular velocity is initial angular velocity plus angular acceleration into time. Initial velocity 0, acceleration I don't know, time I know, it is 5 seconds. How do I find alpha? So to find alpha, I think I can use torque is equal to I into alpha. Torque is R into F. R and F, they both are perpendicular, so I can just write RF into sine of 90. Moment of inertia not given, but gyration is given. Gyration, radius of gyration is m, so moment of inertia is mk square into alpha. So this k is given, and radius of gyration square into mass gives you the moment of inertia. So that's the formula. Let's use this now. So radius is 1 meter, force is 12.5, sine 90 is 1, mass is 50, radius of gyration is 0.5, so half square into alpha. So 12.5 I can just write it as 25 by 2, and this is nothing but 50. Half square is nothing but 1/4. So this goes 2 times, this will become 25, 25, 25 goes, 2, 2 also goes, alpha is there. So alpha comes out as 1 radians per second square. So use alpha as 1 over here. That's it. I think you're going to get the answer. The final angular velocity is 5 radians per second. That's the answer. Done, done, done. It's not option A. I think somebody made a mistake out there. No, it's 5 radians per second. Yep, very good. Clear, everybody? So, the concept of kinematic equations is there. The concept of torque and alpha is there. Torque is RF is also there. And moment of inertia is radius of gyration square into mass. That's the standard formula. So, I have gone in the reverse order. See, how can I start the problem from here? Because how will it click that I have to start from here? So, I got the idea from here that I need alpha. To find alpha, I'll use torque. And why did I get of the idea of this equation? Because force is given and radius is given. That's how I can find torque. That's all. Radius of gyration is basically that radius where you can assume the mass to be concentrated so that it has the same moment of inertia. So if a body has a radius of gyration as some k, that means all the mass is concentrated at that point. So the moment of inertia of that body will be just m r square. Here r is k. That's all. So it's just point where all the mass is assumed to be concentrated. That's all. Moving on to the next one. That's it, guys. More 15-20 minutes. That's it. We're almost nearing the end. Come on, let's do this. Particle of mass m moves with constant velocity. Which of the following statement is not correct about the angular momentum about point O? Which of the following is not correct about the angular momentum about point O? Angular momentum is mrv sine theta. You can also write it as m perpendicular distance of r into v. The perpendicular distance means wherever the velocity is, drop a perpendicular on it. That is also going to give you angular momentum. Either ways you are going to get the same thing. You can also write it as mr velocity's perpendicular component. Now it's 0 when it is moving at A and moving along OA. Yes, if you move along OA, it is passing through the origin, it will come out to be 0, hence option A is correct, like you can see. It is same for all points along line D. Makes sense. When you go along line D, you will see that the perpendicular distance R perpendicular for this point, whether you are here or here, is going to be same. Is the perpendicular, hence it's same. It is of the same magnitude but opposite in direction at B and D. Makes sense because at D the angular momentum is this way. At point B, if you move, then the angular momentum is along this way. Hence it is opposite in direction. It increases as it moves along line BC. No, when you move from point B to point C, the perpendicular distance on that velocity is same. So actually it increases is wrong. It is same. It should be same. Hence the answer is point D. Is that clear, my warriors? Everybody with me on this? Beautiful conceptual based questions. These kind of theoretical questions are very much expected in the NEET examination. It's also useful for CUET, BITSAT, EMSAT, whichever exam you're working for. You cannot say that physics will change in some other exam. Physics is physics, that's all. Moving on to the next one. Average torque acting on a projectile. Wow, 2 chapters combined together. Angle of projection, everything is given. Assuming initial and final positions are point P and point Q. Average torque is asked. The average torque, in general, torque is dl by dt, change in angular momentum per unit time. Average will be total change in angular momentum upon the total time. From here to here, what is the total time? It's the time of flight of a projectile. So this is just the time of flight. This is time of flight of a projectile. That's it, of a projectile. Change in angular momentum will be final angular momentum minus initial. Keep in mind, initially it passes through point P, so it will not even have any angular momentum at that point. Zero. Correct? So it will have zero angular momentum. So final minus initial angular momentum. Initial, this is initial. It is passing through the origin. The reason is R itself is zero. Now for the final angular momentum, we'll have to work a little bit harder. Let's try this out. When you reach here, your velocity is like this. So if this is theta, so is this theta. Now this velocity will have two components, one here, one here. This is your V perpendicular component. This is basically your R, the range as well. This is R. And this V perpendicular is going to be U sine of theta. So this mass, when it hits about this point, the angular momentum will be M R V perpendicular. That's the formula which I just told right over here. Either use MRV sine theta or use MR perpendicular V or MRV perpendicular. The difference between the two is, if there is a particle going like this and you have to measure angular momentum here, just extend this line. This becomes your R perpendicular. And V perpendicular means you keep R and take the perpendicular component of it. So that is what it is. Whether you take R into V perpendicular or R perpendicular into V, it's going to come out to be the same thing. That's the concept behind it. And that's how it works. So the final angular momentum will be M R is the range into V perpendicular is U sine theta. The whole thing divided by the time of flight. Now wait a minute, I know what to do. The range, if you remember how it's calculated, this range is nothing but the horizontal velocity into the time for which it moves. The horizontal velocity into the time. So horizontal speed is U cos theta. Time is nothing but T. Just use this over here and you will get the answer. Let's try this out. So M, range is horizontal speed, which is U cos theta into the time. And this is just U sine theta as it is. The whole thing divided by time. Time goes. So it will be M U square and sine theta into cos theta. Okay, do I have an option here? Well, I can see sine to theta. Oh, I know what to do. Multiply by 2 and divide by 2. 2 sine theta cos theta is sine 2 theta. So this will be M U square sine 2 theta, the whole thing divided by 2. That's the answer. I hope this is clear. No, bacha, Anurag, these are not about the NEET level. These are exactly kind of questions which are asked in NEET examination. Many of them are PYQs. Some of them have been inspired from the previous year papers. That's all. There you go. That's the option. Is that clear, everybody? The option A is correct. So the concepts used here were two things. One is projectile, one is angular momentum. That's all. Let's move on to the next one. A solid sphere is rolling on a frictionless surface with some velocity. Then if it has to climb on the surface, then what should be the speed? Okay. So if it has to move on a frictionless surface, okay, then there is no use of it rolling, because when there is no friction, the rotational speed omega will be constant. The reason for that is frictionless surface. So basically what will happen is only its translational kinetic energy, when it goes up and reaches here, will go into increasing its potential energy. That's it. So what is the translational energy? It's half mv square. Potential energy will be mgh, mm cancels. So v square will be 2gh. So v will be nothing but root of 2gh. V will be root of 2gh. That's the least speed. If you give it more than root 2gh, it will obviously go with higher speed when it reaches on the top. Okay, yeah, but if you want to, you can do that as well. Yep, you can do that. All right, moving on to the next question. Everybody with me on this? Let's move on. Okay, a thin circular ring of mass m and radius r is rotating about the axis with constant angular velocity. 4 objects, each of mass m, are kept gently on the opposite ends of 2 perpendicular diameters of the ring. This is a previous year question of NEET. The angular velocity of the ring will be how much? That's the question. Let's try this out. So you have a ring which is basically rotating. Now on that same ring, okay, what you have done, you have placed 4 masses. You have placed how many masses? I think you have placed 4 point masses. 1, 2, 3, 4. Question is, what is the new angular speed? This is a pure question on angular momentum conservation. There is some initial angular momentum, final angular momentum, both are same, because you're just placing it. You are not going to push or pull or stop it. So the angular momentum remains conserved. So angular momentum is conserved. So I into omega is basically constant. Initial moment of inertia is, what is the mass? Mass of the ring, it's m. So it's m into r square into omega. Final angular momentum will be m r square plus, there are 4 masses, each at distance r. So 4 times m into r square, but into new omega. You can see r square gets cancelled. So capital M into omega will be m plus 4m into omega 1. So omega 1 will be m omega divided by m plus 4m. That's the answer. Let's have a look at it. There you go. Awesomeness. Varman, don't worry, bacha. We are just going to continue this session. Okay? Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next question coming up on your screen. Now, the moment of inertia of a uniform disk is maximum about an axis in the perpendicular plane for the disk when it passes through point A, point C, point B or point D. 4 points are given. Where do you think the moment of inertia will be highest? Think about it. Come on, guys. Think about it and let me know. Where do you think? It's pure question on just parallel axis theorem. Yes, Jitendra, I will do it in the next 5-10 minutes. That's it. More 5-10 minutes to go. Yep. Now, think about it. What is the concept which will be used? When you have multiple axes, the moment of inertia is given by ICM plus m into distance from the center of mass square. Here d is 0. Here d is less, here d is slightly more, here d is maximum. You can see the distance is different. So wherever d is more, moment of inertia is more. So obviously the distance is highest for the point B. Hence the correct answer is option A. Quite confusing. Option A is B, option B is C, C is D, D is A. So crazy, but the correct answer is option A, which is B. Moving on to the next one. Himanshu, just watch more of these sessions, bacha. That's all. That's all you need to do. Keep watching these kind of sessions. That's all. So this is a ruler of 200 centimeters. So till here it is 200 centimeters. And this mass is here, this mass is here. It's balanced. Find the mass so that this ruler balances itself. Pure question on equilibrium and balancing of torques. Law of movements. R into F, the sum is going to be 0. That's all. Or left side and right side torques are going to balance each other. All you need to do is just draw the FBD and see how far are they from the point of suspension. That's all. So first of all, this force is going to be 20 Newton. This force is going to be 10 M Newtons. Mg, G is 10. The weight will act from somewhere here. So I'm just going to put over here. What's the mass of that? 500 grams, that's 0.5. So 0.5 into G, which is basically 5 Newtons of force. Now, how far are these points? Let's figure this out. Well, first of all, let's see. This point to this point, you can see clearly 40 and 20. So this is 20 centimeters. Fair enough. From this point to this point, from this point to this point. Well, this is at 160, this is at 40. So 160 minus 40 is nothing but 120. Correct, guys? Everybody with me on this? So this is 120 centimeters. Last is this one. Well, center of mass, where will the center of mass be? The center of mass will be exactly at 100 centimeters. So this distance will be 100 minus 40, which is nothing but 60 centimeters. Everybody with me on this? Let me know in the chat box, guys. Everybody? Cool. Let's do the math now. So 20 into this, which is again 20. You need not convert it into meters because it's not going to matter, because both LHS and RHS will have centimeters. So the units will cancel. So don't bother converting it into meters. That's why it's a PYQ question. This weight into that distance. So it's going to be 5 into this distance is nothing but 60 plus the last one is 10m into how much? It's 120. So 0, you can just cancel 0, 0 and this 0. So 20 into 2, 40 is equal to 5, 6 are 30 plus this is nothing but 120 m. 1, 0, 1, 0, 0 goes. So 4 minus 3 is equal to 12 m. So m is equal to 4 minus 3 is 1. So 1 by 12 kg is the answer. That's it. 3-line answer. That's all. Okay. So hello, hey, you are free to watch anything, bacha. And if you are not willing to put in that effort, it's okay. Okay? Others are there who are going to put in that effort and they might get more or better marks than you. So if you are not willing to put in that effort over watching long lectures, it's your choice, bacha. Obviously, it's a YouTube free platform. It's up to you. Don't want to watch, don't watch. You want to watch, watch it. Okay? It's all up to you. Yep, it is very hectic and stressful, but that's how it is. You want to get into a good college, you need to work really hard. Last two questions coming up on your screen. If a bob is attached to a string and it is suspended in a vertical support, and if it is rotated with angular speed about the vertical, then about the point of suspension, what do you think is the angular momentum going to be? So this is a bob, this is that vertical, this is going like this, this is going like this. Question is, what will happen to the angular momentum? Well, if you look at it, velocity is here, the r vector is over here. If you do r cross v, if you do r cross v, just try this out. Velocity is towards you. Remember, angular momentum is m, r cross velocity. So r is this way, velocity is this way. So r cross velocity, it's going to come out like this. So I feel the angular momentum will come out to be like this. So as this ball or this bob goes around it, you will see even the angular momentum is going to rotate about that point. So the pendulum is like that. R is there, velocity is towards you. When you do r cross velocity, you will see angular momentum is at an angle. And as the bob rotates, even this angular momentum vector will rotate. This angular momentum vector will rotate. So it's not going to be constant. Check this out. It's not going to be constant. Do you guys agree with this? Do you guys agree with this? So hence, it changes in direction, but not in magnitude. So it changes in direction, but not in magnitude. That's the answer. So the length of this will remain the same, but the magnitude won't change. That's the answer. Last question of today's session. Last question. Okay, let's see. There is a spool and there are two forces acting. Both the forces are equal and opposite. Where do you think friction will act? Last question. Come on, my warriors, don't lose the josh. This is what happens in the exam. If you are not able to sit for a 3-hour lecture, how will you sit for 3 hours in the examination? Okay. Okay. No, Anurag, we don't get. These are spammers, bacha Anurag. So these people earn money when they put spams and all these things. So don't worry about the spammers. We don't get any revenue. In fact, it is a loss for us. Okay. So that's why they will get blocked. Don't worry about it. You just concentrate on the class. Okay. Come on. So both the forces will act. Understand, even if the forces act opposite and they are equal, it will produce a torque. and the torque will be like this. The torque will be like this. So it will try to rotate that way. Because of this torque, it will have some angular acceleration like this. Because it has angular acceleration like this, the center will accelerate this way. The center will accelerate that way. Who will give that acceleration? Who will give that acceleration is the question. Will this force give or that force give? No. Because that force, one of the forces this way, the other force is other way. So there must be something to give that mass into acceleration this way. Because these both will cancel. There is only one force, which is friction, which can give the acceleration. Hence, the frictional force must act in the right side direction. Lot of people make mistakes, but the correct answer is option B. Beautiful question. Beautiful question. Okay, great. What a lovely session, guys. My God, I did not have my dinner now. I'll have my dinner. I hope you guys too enjoyed the class, and do not forget to smash the like as well as hit the subscribe button. And yes, if you want to prepare more and harder, there is always a NEET crash course, AI crash course light, which is just 1,800 rupees for 20 mock tests and hundreds of questions with lots of assignments for all of you waiting there. Use the coupon code SHHPRO for any courses on Vedantu. You can also recommend this to your friends or relatives so that they can get additional discounts. Thank you very much, guys. I hope you guys had a great time and a great learning in block 1. See you in block 2 for the NEET 2022 as well as the GA aspirants. You can watch it, no problems. Okay, bye bye guys, take care, have a great time. Hasta la